Your unique story, our global audience. Global One Media.
Hello and welcome to another episode of our Stocks to Watch series from Global One Media, where we speak with senior leaders of companies across the board to help you make informed and intelligent investment decisions. I am Munir Barazi, your business analyst and host, and today I am pleased to welcome Grant Moore, the president and CEO of SPC Nickel Corp, a company that is focused on the exploration and development of its North American-based polymetallic assets, which include nickel, copper, and platinum group metals. The company is listed on the TSX Venture Exchange as SPC. Hello, Grant. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Munir. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So for our viewers who are not yet familiar with SPC Nickel Corp, can you tell us about the company, the story behind how it started, and its current mission and vision?
Sure. And you alluded to some of that in your introduction. The company started in 2013 as a private company, and we operated from 2013 up until 2021 as a private company. We went public in 2021 and are listed on the TSXV. Our focus is, as you mentioned, is nickel, primarily within the Sudbury mining camp. And the real, the reason the company was developed and spun out was to build a nickel asset within the Sudbury mining camp. That's what we wanted to do. Sudbury is arguably the #1 nickel camp in the world, and our group was familiar with Sudbury, had experience there, and we were looking to develop an asset within the Sudbury camp.
Tell us more about your projects currently in that camp. What is the status of your exploration program there?
Yeah, so we have 4 projects across Canada. They're all nickel focused. They range from camp scale grassroots opportunities to more advanced projects that were past producers that we are currently advancing towards updated resource. So we have 2 main properties in the Sudbury mining camp, one being a property called Air Kid, and the other, our flagship property, is the Lockerbie East project. It was a former Falconbridge property that was a past producer. We acquired it in about 2016 and have been working it for the last couple of years, but really have been very active on it since March of this year, where we are advancing the project towards having an updated resource by the end of the year.
Very encouraging. And you see a lot of potential in those properties, in part because they are in the Sudbury mining district. Tell us about the potential and the importance of this mining district.
Yeah, so for your viewers and listeners who don't know, Sudbury is arguably the largest nickel camp in the world. It is certainly the largest mining camp in Canada, where we're focused, and it produces a lot of nickel every year. And the big challenge with new nickel projects is typically infrastructure. Either they are remote projects, there's no power, there's no infrastructure around the projects. Whereas Sudbury has, over 130 years of mining history. There's 9 producing mines, nickel mines. There's all the infrastructure, such as the mills and the smelters, all within shipping distance of where our project is. So it gives us a bit of a head start on a lot of other projects because we don't have to develop the infrastructure. We have power already basically to the site. You can drive your car to the site. And all of the workforce, the contractors, the suppliers, everything you need is within a short distance of the project site. So it's a huge advantage for us.
Sounds like the logistics are very advantageous. You currently have an agreement with Vail Canada regarding the adjacent Greenhill 3. Tell us about this agreement and its implications for your company.
Yeah, so we acquired this Lockerbie project in 2016, and at the time that we acquired it, there was a historic resource on the project called the West Graham deposit. And we knew that the West Graham deposit extended across the property boundary onto what was called the Crean Hill 3 property, which was owned by Vale. And we had been in negotiations with them, and discussions with them for a long period of time, but eventually we announced in January of this year that we were able to secure a deal where SPC has the ability to own 100%, earn 100% of that project. And that's huge for us. That basically, there was 2 deposits that we've now been able to put together into one. And that's what our exploration work that we're doing right now is. We're doing the drilling necessary to basically combine these 2 resources into one resource.
Why nickel? Why the emphasis on nickel? Tell us about its importance.
Well, why nickel is probably because that's me and the other individual that helped start the company. That was our background. I mean, we were nickel guys working in Sudbury who have always been passionate about nickel. And as I say, Sudbury is a very unique place in the world because it was formed by a meteorite impact, which is unlike any other place in the world. So the geology of Sudbury is quite fascinating, and I've always just been attracted to that commodity in this region. So that's kind of the impetus of why we started. Now, a lot has changed since 2013 when we started the company, and that is really the push for critical metals for EV vehicles around the world. And that was the catalyst that we used to take the company public, was the demand for quality nickel projects to source nickel for batteries for electric vehicles.
It seems like you're in the right position. My final question, are there any catalysts you feel that investors should pay attention to, both current shareholders and potential ones? Why is this the right time to invest in SPC Nickel?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, we're in kind of some rough markets right now. So obviously, share prices of junior companies are down. So that's certainly a buying opportunity. We see a lot of growth in nickel on the horizon in the coming years, and in that we feel could be a very long-term positive outlook for nickel. So now is the time to get involved. Like I said, given that we are a project that's in an established camp with all the infrastructure, the lead time and the time required for us to advance a project is a lot less than other companies because we don't have to build the infrastructure. On the shorter term, we are continuing to put out really positive drill results. In fact, we had a press release out today that was very encouraging. We have a lot more drill holes to release. We're still drilling, so there'll be a steady stream of news throughout the year. And really, the big catalyst for us will be updated resource at the end of the year. And I think that will show investors that we're building a pretty substantial resource in arguably the best nickel camp in the world.
Would you like to share more about the press release you've
Yeah, sure. So we issued a press release today with 13 additional holes. We've so far drilled just over 12,000 meters in about 57 drill holes. So we released 13 more today. There's still 17 left to go that we are processing the samples and getting them into the labs. The results were encouraging. We had some, we have thick intersections of mineralization with some, higher grade sections. So I think the best intersection was around 18 meters of about 1.3 nickel and 0.5% copper. This is really close to surface within a pittable sort of mine design plan. So very positive results, consistent with the resource, and every drill hole that we complete kind of further defines and expands this resource, which will ultimately be finalized up in this resource update at the end of the year.
Very encouraging indeed, and seems like you're moving on the right track. Grant Moore, the CEO and president of SPC Nickel, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all of those updates. We look forward to seeing you again and sharing more updates with our audience.
Thanks.